Transaction review. With the quarter now complete, Carol is ready to prepare the BAS for Zippy Electrical and Data Services. Carol navigates to the Books review from the navigation bar, and she chooses the period that she is running the BAS. She clicks on the pencil icon, and she can choose from the financial year, whether it's monthly or quarterly, and in this case, Carol will choose the quarter 1. The transaction review screen is divided into 3 key areas: before you start, open issues, and shortcuts. The before you start section outlines any bank transactions that need reviewing before you start preparing the BAS. The number of transactions that need reviewing is outlined in the brackets. The Open Issues area surfaces any anomaly transactions that might need your attention. We'll explore these shortly. The Shortcuts area can be tailored to suit your practice workflows and compliance, where you can add the status by clicking on the down arrow next to the clock. You can select the required stage, to do, waiting, or done. This will make it easier for your team to see where you're up to at any stage. Let's work through this screen to learn more. Firstly, Carol notices that there are a number of transactions displayed on the screen. She will work through these each section to complete her review. For now, let's take a look at the bank transactions. This allows Carol to do a quick review for any bank transactions that appear in the feeds but have not yet been coded. Carol can see there are a number of bank transactions for the quarter which are yet to be finalised, so she clicks on the Review Now. This will take her directly into the Banking Centre to complete the transactions. We'll take a look at the Better Banking Credit Union. As we scroll down, she notices that there are 2 transactions that need to be finalised and matched. The first one is the supplier batch payment, which we made previously via the ABA file. Let's take a look at that. We'll click into the row. We'll click in Find Match, and automatically it produces the 2 payments that we did with the payment for the ABA. Let's click Save. The next one is the Metropolis Finance lease. Let's open that row. And in this particular case, we just need to categorise it. And we are going to categorise this to motor vehicle operating lease. And we'll leave it at out of scope for now. We click Add. The remainder of the transactions have already been matched or added via a rule or by previous transactions that we have in QuickBooks. So let's select all of them, and we select Accept, and they're all done. Now that this is completed, we can go back to Books Review, and ideally the bank transaction should be 0, but in this particular case we'll leave it as is, as we haven't done the other 2 banks. All we need to do is click on the status, which is done. So that's the first one done. Let's take a look at the open issues. The uncategorised transactions. This area displays those transactions that have been coded to one of the uncategorised accounts in the general ledger. Let's take a look at this. You can see that we can select all, and we can ask the client directly. Or you can choose the 3 dots on the right-hand side and you can edit. In this particular case, I'm going to edit the account service fee for Better Business Banking, as I know what that is automatically, because that should go to banking fees. So we've selected bank charges and fees. Make sure that you've got the correct GST, and let's click Save and Close. Now you can see that we have another 2 for Better Business Banking. So let's select those. We can reclassify. And here I choose bank charges and fees and apply. So you can see I can do them really quickly with 2 on the go. Now, let's just, for instance, Carol isn't aware of what these 2 are. So what she'll do is she'll select both and she'll click on Ask Client. This will take us to the right-hand side where there is a client request that we can send out to the client. You can add in the due date. So if it's 2 weeks' time, you add in the date for 2 weeks. There's the actual transactions, documents if you need to upload, and this will actually share it out with the client. So the client will receive a notification. These requests can be viewed by the client in the requests area of My Accountant, which is covered in greater detail in the QBOA to run your practice course. So let's choose Share, and off it goes to the client. And you can see once we've actually sent that, it's actually letting us know that we're waiting on the information. Let's just take a look at the My Accountant and what this looks like. So you can see that we have a couple that we're waiting on from the client, which are these 2. So once the client addresses these requests, this will actually change and disappear. So let's go back to Books Review, and let's just assume that the client has addressed both of these and we know what they're for. So because they're totally different, all we need to do is just quickly click Edit. We've chosen Cost of Sales Purchased Materials for Bunnings. And the last one is for Officeworks. We'll choose Edit. And in this particular case, he lets us know there's actually bought a printer. So I'll just add printer. And we've added it to the expense account called Office Equipment and Software, as it's only $1,500. Let's make sure that we choose the GST, and let's click Save and Close. And we've completed uncategorized transactions. Let's change this to Do to Done. The next one we'll take a look at is transactions without payees. And this is very similar to the previous uncategorized transactions. If I select all, I can ask the client, I can add the payee in bulk, I can void, and I can delete. Well, I don't want to delete and void because they are actual transactions. So for these particular 3, the bank charges, I'm just going to unselect the first one, and I'm going to leave it on the 3 bank charges and fees. I'm going to click on Add Payee. And the payee in this particular case is the Better Business Banking, and click Apply. And that's completed. The next one is the Coles Express. So I'll do this one individually. I'll just close that bar down and I'll click Edit. And I'll just choose Coles. Supplier. Do you want to pre-fill this expense and overwrite your entries using values from the contact's last expense? No, as this is different, and I'm going to save and close. And we've completed that particular job. Let's click Done. Transactions without GST. So let's take a look at these. Again, if I select all, you can delete and you can reclassify in bulk. But I don't want to because they're 2 separate transactions. And let's click Edit. And in this particular case, it is the motor vehicle expense operating lease. And we've just chosen out of scope, but let's just change it to GST-free purchases. And we'll click Save and Close. In that previous transaction, we could leave it at out of scope, by the way, if it's out of scope. But in that case, we should have changed that to GST free. Let's take a look at the Coles Express. Edit. And this is fuel, so this should be GST. On purchases, save and close. And we've completed the transactions without GST. So you can start to see on your right-hand side all the issues that we have completed. Now, the duplicate transactions, we don't have any, so we can click Done. Undeposited funds, we don't have any issues there. Let's click Done. Unapplied payments, let's click Done. And Carol has nearly completed most of the issues. Now, we do have the shortcuts. So in addition to the checks in place that we've just completed, the shortcuts area allows us to add specific tasks, reports, and also QuickBooks Online location links to reports. Now, what we'll take a look at is adding a report. So I'm going to click Add. And the report that I'm going to add in is the profit and loss month by month. The link name, I'm just going to keep Review, as we've done previously. The details, if you have any details. Now, the QuickBooks page link, this is what you do, guys. We want to go to Reports. So let's click Reports. Then what I'm going to do is choose Custom Reports, because this particular report we actually customized in the reporting module that we did. If you do have any others that you want to customize it first, and then you can save the link. So I'm going to choose the report that I'm after. And then in the URL, all I'm going to do is just copy the URL. I'm going to go back to my QuickBooks page link field, and I'm going to paste it. And that's how easy it is. I'm going to click Save, and there you have it. Now let's have a quick review of that one. And you can see that the report is exactly the same report that we copied from the customized report section. Let's go back to our books review. So you can see you can add, you can also delete, and you can edit. So if we click on to edit, it takes you into the same fields that we added the previous report. I'm just going to close that down. Now, as Carol goes down each report, she reviews them. She has no issues, it's done. Or if she's waiting for something, she'll just click Waiting. But in this particular case, she's also done that one. Now that she's completed all done, she's completed her books review under the transactions. Carol has completed the review for Zippy Electrical and Services and is ready now to complete her next step, which is account reconciliation.